sponsors.
Welcome to Serendipity Style, where every week I will show you some of our finest luxury handbags, fashions, and accessories from my designer consignor boutique, as well as amazing guest appearances with stories beyond belief. Serendipity East is now located at 111 East Palmetto Park Road, Boca, 1 block east of Federal Highway on the north side. Call us at 561-338-0656. So let's get on with the show. Hello, everyone. Lisa from Serendipity, and I'm here with a very dear, wonderful, beautiful, amazing friend, Max Tucci.
Thank
Max,
you.
so nice to have you here. How does that introduction?
I feel the same towards you. So like attracts like.
Thank you. Tell me a little bit about yourself, your dad, just a touch of
my background, my mini bio.
Tell me
right?
about it's a mini bio, right?
I'm the grandson of Oscar Tucci, who was Delmonico's restaurant in New York. Yeah. And then after my father took it over, and then they were making me be the next in charge. You know, they were grooming me to be the next one. I was going, I was 8 years old in the kitchen of Delmonico's, already cleaning ashtrays, working away in the kitchen.
Right.
Then my father passed away. So that was 8 years old. And it was a very long time since that experience. I was so mad at my father for dying.
Yes, of course.
And then I was at this amazing ashram actually here in Florida called Kashi. Right. And I was walking around and it was like, my FU turned into my thank you.
Right,
you know
exactly.
And the anger was like dissipated. I'm like, I get it now, like why you died when I was so young so that I could live my life.
Right.
And so from going from the restaurant industry, I totally went into the different direction of entertainment, radio, fashion design, television, book writing.
I know, at a very young age.
At a very young age.
Yeah.
When I was 17, I designed my first collection. I had 90 pieces.
What did you have?
A woman's collection.
A woman's collection?
Yeah, my mom.
Sportswear or a top?
No, it was, a lot of it was couture made in France.
Wow.
Like super expensive, amazing pieces. Dressed celebrities when I was like 18.
Look at
they were
that.
doing red carpet in my pieces. So it was it was fun. But my mom was in the fashion industry.
Right.
So for me, it was just, again, a natural DNA thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But my passion for what I'm about is, I'm an Aquarius.
Yeah.
So I love to like be humanitarian, to give back, to make magic, and to just be philanthropic. So that's a great part of my life as well. And my radio show, Max and Friends, is 9 years on LA Talk Radio.
Now tell me about that.
Max and Friends, Monroe King wrote the theme song. And basically, it's Max and Friends. He says what he wants. He's not holding back.
Right, which is good.
And the show originally was a lifestyle show on how to really live life to the max.
Right.
And it was a fun show, but then the economy started changing and stuff started happening.
Was that? When was that?
9 years ago.
Okay.
So things started changing, and they were like, we want you to stay, but you kind of have to change your show.
Right.
Not a problem. So I was like, Oprah has friends, Max can have friends.
Right,
so
exactly.
That's how Max and Friends was born. It was about 2 or 3 years into having the original show, which was called To the Max.
Right. Love the name.
Yeah. Well, that's how we live life.
Exactly.
To the max.
Yeah.
So prior to that, my life, it's so hard to like say exactly when things happen because they just sporadically happen.
They evolve, and they evolve on their own.
They do. They unfold naturally.
Yep.
And my life now has become that. Where I am now is where I'm supposed to be, and everything just unfolds naturally. Yeah. But to get to here, I busted my ass. It was a lot of work.
I'm sure.
And a lot of rejection being young. The industries that I'm in, fashion, television, radio, entertainment, they're not like the most welcoming. Now we can see with what's going on in society, like people do a lot of things to get in that industry.
Right.
And I was one of them that wouldn't do one of those things. I made the choice not to, and maybe that's why my career took longer to manifest.
Right.
But
when it blew up,
it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. So, it's been a fun ride, and I love doing radio. And then I started doing television. The show that I did down here in Florida on WSFL was called Eye on the People with Max Tucci, where it was a sit-down one-on-one interview where I introduced you to celebrities, newsmakers, everyday people.
Right.
And it was a great experience. So season 1 aired. And I had Sophie B. Hawkins on and Tommy Rose.
Tell me when that started.
2014 or 15.
Okay.
So, and then I took a break.
Yeah.
And then we're working on season 2 now. So.
Wonderful. See, I didn't know all of this.
And now I'm doing a book too
Yes.
on Delmonico's.
Right.
And my grandfather.
And weren't you going to open up a restaurant? Didn't I hear something
So
about that?
there is a rumor going around. I
Right.
started on Facebook just to
Yes.
see how people would react.
Right.
You know, before we came into this conversation, this conscious conversation,
Right.
The first thing I said to you was privacy is a lost art.
Yes, it is.
Right? And we have to keep our life private.
Yes.
The private parts that we want to keep private.
Yes.
But the things that we want to share, we have to be selective.
And if you don't want to share anything,
right.
you just give me the eye. Because you never...
I'm an open book.
Good.
But my point to the post was, on Facebook, I wanted to see the reaction from friends.
Right.
Do you support me? You know, a long time ago, I was hanging out with Oprah.
Right. Just a little thing.
And we were talking, and I remember, you know, Oprah says certain things that stick to those aha moments.
Oh, yes.
So one of them was the validation. Do you hear me? Do you see me? Do I matter?
Right.
And together we rise. So I took those things and I really put them into my life.
Right.
And so the Facebook post was, do you hear me? Do you see me? Do I matter?
Yes.
Do you hear that I want to do a restaurant? Do you see that I want to do a restaurant? And does this restaurant matter?
Right.
And then when all these people in South Florida were like, we're going to be there, we're coming, we're doing, I was like, okay, there's a validation to this daydream that I have.
Yep.
So it was almost like, you know, I wanted to validate the daydream.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen next year,
Wonderful.
2018. It's in South Florida.
Okay.
And we're going to go to the roots of my grandfather, back to Oscar.
Wonderful.
So we'll serve the dishes that he created, which was one famous one, the wedge salad in 1930s at Delmonico's.
He was the one that created the wedge salad?
I know.
Guess what? I was there. I think I was there. I remember my first wedge salad in Manhattan.
Yeah. So Oscar created it. My grandfather created it. Okay. And Delmonico's created many dishes. Lobster Newburgh, baked Alaska, eggs Benedict. All of those came from the kitchens. Delmonico's is America's oldest fine dining restaurant.
When did they open?
1837.
1837? Were you alive then?
I was. I probably was.
You were.
I was probably there.
Yes, you were so, funny.
Yeah. And so, you know, since then, my grandfather, though, my immediate family, my grandfather, during the height of the Depression, the height of the recession, in 1920s, Prohibition, he saw the Delmonico building. It was for sale, and he bought it. I know it sounds, there's more to it than that, but we don't have too much time.
No.
So I'm writing a book now on that, Oscar's, about Oscar's life, Delmonico's, and how Oscar really changed the restaurant industry to how we know it today.
Yeah.
You know, Cirio from the Cirque worked there, Tony May from San Domenico, Harry's from Harry's Hanover Square. All these wonderful restaurateurs worked for my grandfather, and he groomed them. So we're going to tell their stories, and a lot of celebrities are involved. So it's an exciting aspect. Becky Diamond, who wrote the book, The $1,000 Dinner, which is out now. It's a great book. Delmonico's in a restaurant in Philadelphia had a competition. It was the first Iron Chef, basically. And these two restaurants competed to have this $1,000 dinner, which in today's money would be like $35,000. Delmonico's didn't win. But Becky wrote her book, and it's a fascinating book about the Epicurean history, and also about, it's the ultimate foodie book to learn how, you know, we think, oh, because Top Chef is on television, that this is something new. As we know, nothing is new. Everything is, we're just changing it or, you know, redesigning it. But so she explains the $1,000 dinner. And
what do you have?
These are other books that I have, but Becky's book, she's going to be my co-author.
Okay.
So that's where, I mean, there's magic, because she's really a historian, goes into the depths of Delmonico's, and it's going to be fascinating because I have, you know, my family stories, and she has the historic stories. So
how wonderful.
We're going to weave them together.
Max, you really, I'm listening to you, and it's like the doors have opened. Your world is very exciting.
You know,
it really is.
It is. And my world is exciting, and I consciously created to be that. You know, we are the creators of our reality. And, you know, whatever follows I am follows you. And without sounding like a preacher or a pastor.
But I remember we were discussing something a few weeks back. And I was like, really, you know, it was very deep and very profound and very impressive. And
well, you know, gratitude is a big thing for me. So, number one, I'm grateful to be here. And happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful to have you here.
So gratitude is, you know, something that I live by. My mornings when I wake up, the first thing I do is I'm so thankful. And I express that to the universe. Thank you, thank you. Like, thank you. Like another day to do something. And then I really take like the first hour of my conscious morning
Right.
to really focus on what am I going to do today? What are my intentions for the day?
Right.
What do I want to manifest today? What do I want to create today? What do I want to daydream about today?
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, that turns into where I am now. And I'm constantly daydreaming. I always like say, never stop daydreaming.
Right.
Because we can turn those into reality.
Yeah. You should have a class. No, did you ever think about having a class?
I do sometimes.
No, it would be so wonderful.
I've done one I have a home in Colorado.
Right.
Which is a sacred space to me. I really
Yes,
love Colorado.
yes.
And I do some retreats there. So,
Yeah.
but you know, I'm available. And that's the other
Go to your
misconception.
retreat. Yeah,
you know?
because it's a really, you're peace. You're tranquil. You have look at how you are. You have an air, an aura. Not an air, an
well,
aura.
because the simplicity of life is just to live.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't live by your.
Well,
you
it's
know,
not by my,
not your.
For
rule.
me, it
It's-
works.
Right, but
it
would be so wonderful if more people had the feeling that you have. That
and they can.
yeah.
Listen.
You're
I
right, they
could
can.
have had the
You're
whole
right.
victim route.
Yes,
My
yes.
father died at 8.
Yes.
My mother was a single mother for all
Yes.
these years. Okay, money
I don't
was
think you
there.
ever did. When did you?
But-
That was not your. That's not your MO.
No.
Yeah.
No, we all go through things in life.
Right.
But you can't force life.
Yes.
We have to really stop and look at nature. I always say flowers unfold naturally.
You're right.
The minute you start to open the petal, the flower dies.
Yeah.
You just have to let life unfold naturally. And whatever's thrown at your way, there's two ways to look at it. Am I going to sit here and be like, oh, my life sucks?
Right.
Or am I
Many
just
do.
going to look at it and be like, you know what? So this happened.
Yeah.
And that's how life is for me.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the simplicity of life is to live. Everything else we make up. So if we can make all of these things up and that becomes our reality, why can't we consciously create an amazing life?
Right.
Instead of unconsciously create a miserable one. So I consciously create an amazing
you
life.
do.
You have a book there too.
Yes, I do.
That's
Tell
not
me
my
about-
book, but this is a dear friend of mine, Gordana Biernat. Awesome book. I'm so used to radio, so I forget there's a camera.
Right, that's right. I know.
Like, hey,
I know.
camera.
This is such an easy
Yeah.
place to.
So, because with radio, I'm always on radio and I'm never
Right.
used to camera.
Right.
So, #Know the Truth is a book from Gordana Biernat, who is one of my Max motivators on Max
Right.
and Friends, which is on LA Talk Radio, Sunday nights at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific. And Gordana, she's on Twitter at My Power Talk.
Okay.
Inspirational, this is like her soul, letter to her soul friends.
Yeah.
And why knowing the truth, the tagline is there. Why knowing the truth, what changes everything, I think is her tagline. But #Know the Truth. And when I have Gordana on, the simplicity of how life can be lived.
Right.
Is how she breaks it down. To the point where, I was always tweeting Oprah and all these other people,
Yes,
meet these people. And there's a frequency and a synchronicity. And she became one of Oprah's Super Soul 100s.
Really?
So,
That's wonderful.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to this one.
So,
Really am.
it's just an easy, simple book to read and have fun and just to be still and realize maybe, it's like when you open it to any page.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
being on that synchronicity, on that frequency. So
I'm
why
going
do
to
I bring
enjoy
that
this.
book up?
Yeah.
Because Gordana, like I said, she's on my show. And not, 9 years, so probably over 500 guests I've interviewed.
Right.
Gordana, my listeners always want more Gordana,
Yeah,
more and more. So Gordana and I have amazing conscious conversations, and
Yeah.
that's one of the books.
I'm going to love this.
Yeah.
I'm going to love this.
I'm going to take this bracelet off because it's driving me crazy.
Okay.
I did all of this for Lisa.
Oh,
Hermes, Gucci. And I'm like,
That's
you know
so
what?
funny.
It's nice to have, but I have to tell
Right.
you, it's aggravating me a little bit.
That's right.
I'd rather just be here and that's why I
Right,
wore a
exactly.
t-shirt. But books that I've worked on, because you've asked me to bring a couple.
Yes.
One is Big Shoes in Celebration of Dads and Fatherhoods with Al Roker.
Oh, wow.
And
Al
there's
Roker.
some great
Let me see
names in that book.
Whoa.
And what I do is basically tell the story about my father and Delmonico's and how
Right.
my father, even though he died when I was so young, it was almost as if he knew he was going to because we were always together. So it's a beautiful story about my father. And there's some great people. Katie Couric, Susan Lucci,
Right,
Matt Lauer.
right.
The
Susan
list
Lucci.
goes on. Our president is
Bo
in there
Bridges.
too.
Oh, wow.
And I like to say that I have the most pages. But that book came out years and years ago. But it's one that, these are the stories about our fathers. And
Right.
everyone has a story.
How wonderful
So
this is.
we should never let our story die with us.
No.
And then another great book I did. I
like this whole- I
with,
like- it's very-
Josh Sapin. It's
Right.
called The Big Picture, and it's American Panorama. And this book shows huge, panoramic photos of America.
Right.
And there's one about Delmonico's, and I speak about my grandfather and Delmonico's. It's a fabulous book.
Yes. Oh,
Camera.
wow. The big picture.
The big picture.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
you know, plugging stuff is fun in the radio, but this is all because, you know, when you give gratitude out and when you're thankful for things,
yes.
abundance comes to you naturally.
Yes.
You know, so it's not to say like, oh, here's my book, here's my book.
Oh, that's
it's like, no, life happens. And these are all just really, I'm grateful for all of these experiences.
Yes, yes.
Again, we all have these stories.
Yeah.
And to be able to tell them in a public way is amazing.
Yeah.
Is amazing. And then to share, you know, I love to plug my friends. You know, to be able to share Gordana's book with you and give it to you for your birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
You know,
thank
you become a truth ambassador.
Yes, yes.
You know, and like, that's why I'm carrying that on for you.
Yeah.
And I was going to bring you another book from another friend of mine,
the one you
Jessica.
were telling about. Oh, yes.
This is a great book
yes.
called Date Like a Girl, Marry Like a Woman.
Love the title.
You need to have her on your
show.
Where
is she? Well,
we'll get her. We'll get her to come to Florida. Date Like a Girl, Marry Like a Woman. Jessica. Amazing book, Jessica Bonavuch. And Polished Woman is her. She's on Twitter at Polished Woman.
Oh, I'm gonna have to. You're gonna have to.
I'll go
send me that. You always.
But you know, so that's the thing is like when you get, give.
Right.
You know, that's the Maya Angelou teaching.
Yes, yes.
So when I have friends and they have things, I want to give back and tell everyone about them instead of just what is Max up to.
Right, right. And what are you up to? What's in your next future?
In the immediate future,
right.
See, I can't even look to the future because it's non-existent.
It's immediate.
It's
like
the right now.
Right, exactly. And I know.
It's the right now.
Yeah. So right now.
Right now I'm here with you.
And
and celebrating that.
Yes. And that's the way I love that. I love your thought process.
Yeah.
I love it.
But getting involved with the community, you know, yes, there was a beautiful story that happened yesterday. I lived down by the beach and I was driving around the neighborhood and there was this homeless guy walking around. I posted on Facebook yesterday. And he didn't have shoes on. And he was young and, you know, the clothes were filthy and people were like, you know, driving by like, why is he here?
Right.
And I'm thinking like, I better tell him he should leave this neighborhood because these people, they're not going to be so friendly with him.
Yeah, yeah.
So I pulled over and I said like, are you lost? And he was like, no, I'm just trying to find the beach. You know, when you get into like the little side streets, you can get lost easily. So I said, you know, this is how you go. And then I noticed, I'm like, do you want like my flip-flops?
Yeah.
And they're a company called Feel Goods.
Right.
And I got them at Whole Foods. They're like my favorite flip-flops.
Oh, I think I saw those Feel Goods.
Oh,
yeah, what do you want?
Today I don't even know what I'm wearing.
Oh, yeah,
but no, the ones that I wore at your shop the other day. Yes, that was nomadic state of mind.
I love that. That was great.
But the Feel Goods, you know, they're like amazing flip-flops made out of rubber trees in Thailand.
Right.
So I gave them to him and literally he put them on, smiled at me and was like, oh, these feel good.
Oh.
And not even knowing that the company was Feel Goods.
Right.
So then today I'm like, you know what? Like this man is now literally walking in my shoes.
He is. I hope that would be wonderful if he knew what kind of shoes he was walking in.
So I figured like, this is such an easy way to give.
Right.
You know, like they're a pair of flip-flops.
Yep.
You know, for me, it's like I have a bunch of them and giving them away. I was like, my mom is like, did you give him your favorite? I was like, I don't favorite. I'll go to Whole Foods tomorrow and get another pair, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but this man literally walked away like happy for that moment.
Yeah.
Because do you hear me? Do you see me?
Yes.
Do I matter?
Yes.
And then to be able to give to someone like that, then the universe smiles back at you. The divine, God, whatever we want to call it. You know, and I put that post up this morning thinking like, I want to start this conscious movement.
Right.
Like to have people, just give them shoes. So many people do it.
Well, no,
it's nothing new.
There were a couple of women that I interviewed a few weeks back, and that's the name of the company was Shoes, SHOOZ.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. They collect shoes. They deal with mainly all over the country, all over the world, actually. And they ship them to mostly children.
Right.
And I
love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's wonderful.
You know, and this is something we could do locally.
Yes.
And then and I like to think globally. So for me, it's not like, so I went to Twitter and I started tweeting like celebrity friends of mine, will you get involved? Will you get involved?
Yeah.
And literally this afternoon, I think I had like 40 people involved willing to get involved with this project that was like a conscious movement.
That's the shoot.
And and it was funny because I even like created this tagline like it feels good to give feel goods.
Yeah.
So the company I reached out to, I'm waiting for them to reply, but I'm sure that
you should contact
there's synchronicity. I will.
No,
I will.
They're really it's a wonderful thing.
So, you know, this is just something simple, but the point of the story of all of this is that, and then I thought after I posted like, will I ever see this man again? You know, and like he doesn't realize I might have given him a pair of flip-flops, but the joy I had in giving these to him,
I get it.
is one of the moments that I'll never forget in life.
Yeah, yeah.
And to be able to say someone's walking in my shoes
Right.
and the energy that I have in them, like
Right.
I just
Yeah.
hope it like overflows into his life.
Yeah.
So ironically, or whatever we want to call it, or serendipity.
Right, serendipity. Serendipitous.
I'm sitting outside today with my mom. We're at this little restaurant, and he walks by.
Get out of here.
He had a different shirt on, same outfit, just had a red shirt over his
Was he
outfit,
wearing your shoes?
wearing the flip flops.
Yay.
I was like, I was like ready to weep.
I love it. Oh, that's
And I was
so
like, I don't want,
great.
like, let's, you know,
Let's
yesterday was the
continue on,
moment.
right,
like,
exactly.
so he can just go on with his life.
Yes.
So, but it was a beautiful
Oh, I
moment.
love
It was a
that.
beautiful
That's
moment.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, I do that all the time. I do that all
You
the time.
are one of the biggest givers.
I'm such a giver.
And it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I know that people have told you, like, to cut back a
yes,
little.
they have. Yes.
But if it brings you joy and if
does.
it's authentic to you, you have
It
to
is,
do it.
but it's not always authentic.
That's okay.
You know.
You're only, listen, we're here to be authentic to who we are.
Yes.
That's it. You know?
Can't help myself a lot.
I know.
Because when I see someone, I mean, I'm very good friends with two of the people that are living on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I talk to them, I see them, I've given them, you know, many
Yeah.
things and whatever. She's
It's great.
yeah.
I think it's
brings me
wonderful.
joy and happiness, and it's very fulfilling.
It's a
and
heart
rewarding.
virtue. Do you know, I have Tamara Bowman, who comes on my show. We talk about heart virtues.
Right.
And heart virtues are those things that give you chills.
Yes.
That can make you weep.
Yes.
That can make you cry.
Have
that
it
can
all.
be like, oh my, why haven't I done this before?
Yep.
And why am I not doing this even more?
That's
That's a heart virtue.
Yeah.
So when it's that thing that gives you chills, when you want to like literally weep, look,
Right.
there's feathers.
Oh, that's-
There's an angel.
You know what? There's an angel. Okay, that's
So,
where did that come from?
so that's a heart virtue. And when
Yeah.
you do that, you're authentic to you.
Right.
You know, and when you go to bed at night, you're happy.
Yeah. I
That's all
am.
that matters.
I am.
You know, and I think if we adapt that into our life, like I'm not here to prove myself to anybody.
Right.
I'm not here because people like or don't like what I do. Yeah. At the end of the day, I know what I've done.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
the end of the day, I brought joy.
Right.
I brought laughter.
And it's for you, and it's
Yeah.
for whomever you choose to
Yeah.
give that joy to.
yeah.
You know.
It's letting life unfold naturally.
Right, right. I know. There was a woman that came in the store. I told the story. I don't know if anyone
Mm-hmm.
recalls it, but she came in and she was looking for shoes like I wear. Okay, which of course I don't sell in my store. The orthopedic shoes. So
They're comfortable.
they're very wonderful. So I said, you know what? Come here. What size are you? And she was my size. I said, I have so many shoes to give you. So she couldn't believe it,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, well, how much are they? I said, they're free. I'm giving them to you. I
Yeah.
brought in about 25 pairs of shoes.
You see?
I gave them to her. She
Yeah.
was, you know, she had.
I get it.
She had a tough life,
Yeah.
but she didn't always have a tough life.
Right.
And whatever it was, it made me feel good, and she was just.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know, it's those moments where we feel good.
Yeah.
Because good releases
Right.
happiness. Good releases love.
Yes, yeah.
Good releases kindness.
Yep.
You know, and that's what it's all energy.
Right.
All we are is energy
But
and
then
motion.
what happens when I call them predators?
Who?
Opportunists. People that come around and they
It's called discernment.
explain.
Easily. You felt it. It's energy.
No, but I'm saying the bad people.
Yeah, I don't think there's such thing as bad
but
people.
but people that look
It's
at
all energy. And it's all frequency. And it's all synchronicity.
Okay.
The woman you wanted to help,
yes,
you knew to.
yes.
The ones you don't, you know not to.
But how
And
about
it's
the people
okay.
that come to you because you are a kind, wonderful person,
Right.
and but
You
they
have choices. We all do. And your intuition speaks to you.
yes. One
And you
must
can
listen.
still be kind.
One must listen to their
Right.
intuition.
And it's a very thank you, not today.
yes, yes. But I have
And you
to,
don't have to explain your no.
No, I know.
None of us do. We all
Yeah.
have this no
Thank you, not
and then
today.
an explanation.
Right. That's right.
No.
That's right.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Thank you. And the way you smile and say it. No, thank you. Have a nice
Because
day.
it's energy.
Yes.
As opposed to like, okay, get out.
Yeah, and it is. You know what? I was telling a friend of mine today, when you present whatever you're going to tell that person, don't say it like attacking and angry and
Right.
coming at them, because right away they're not going to hear what you're telling them, saying to them.
They hear a fight.
They're here to fight.
Yeah.
And guess
Energy.
what? They're going. That's it. Okay.
Defense.
Yes, and that's
Yes.
exactly what happens. And there's not even a conversation that takes
Right.
place because it's over. If you
Listen,
start that way, it's over.
I can sit here and say, oh, life is grand and the energy and this and everything is
Right.
wonderful. Of course, I have days where I get pissed and I'm mad and
Of
this.
course, and normal.
But we have to realize when we say the word emotion, it's energy in motion.
Energy and motion.
And that's the thing, it keeps moving.
Right.
right? So we just have to let the energy move and bring us to conscious decisions. When we get mad, it's unconscious.
Yeah.
Like, because we don't even think.
Exactly.
We stop breathing.
Yes.
We get hot.
Yes.
We want to fight.
I have chills that go up and down my arm.
Take 3 breaths.
Yeah.
Center the soul and realize, like, okay, I'm back.
Okay.
I'm on Earth. I'm here.
And you know what? You have to be aware.
just
You
release.
have to be kind of aware of it.
Yeah.
If you're aware of that, like if I get excited or as soon as I feel this, that makes me aware.
Yeah. Our body tells us.
It does.
Energy tells us. Frequencies tell us.
Yes.
Intuition. It might not be your gut. It could be your arm.
Maybe
It could
it's
be
my arm.
It could be a twitch in the eye.
Yes.
A twitch in the lip.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever it is, your body's saying,
listen to it.
This isn't you.
Right.
This doesn't feel right. So now my body's going to react.
Right.
You know, when we give love, it feels good. We're at ease. Our body's
course,
nice.
yeah.
There's passion. There's joy.
Yeah.
So just be aware.
Yeah.
You know, be aware of our body
I love
and what it
talking
says.
to you. I love talking to you. I'm like, okay.
Well, I want to
Bring
tell
it
you,
on.
you know, you're so giving. The first time I met you, I don't know if you remember the story, but I came into your store when you were by the juice store.
Okay.
Okay. And I came into the store. I was like, I would love the store. You had like amazing things. You and I started speaking.
Yes.
I never knew you from anywhere. I was there for like an hour.
Right.
And then you had like noticed something of mine. And you're like, I want to give you something. I'm like, and you would give me this little Cartier notebook.
Oh.
Right. I use it,
Really?
but I only use it for like when I have like really like when those bigger.
Right.
It's like the hashtag daydream is bigger and dream big moments happen. And so I put in that. So that's what your book is for me.
Oh,
we're gonna have to
nice.
wrap up pretty soon.
Oh, we have 2 minutes. I'm not wasting a minute. Keep going.
All right. So I like, you know, and that's the first impression I got from you when I met you was she's so giving and such a lovely person. So that's why I'm here today, because I rarely do stuff.
Thank you.
Not because I don't want to, but because it's like I like to private life.
I know. I'm
you know, and I'm in a
blessed.
relationship for years, and people are like, "Who is this person? Like, who are you with?" We don't see them on Facebook. We don't see, and I'm like, that's a choice. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And that's why we're together for 7 years.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So,
we don't have the outside
you know,
world.
we all have the choice to push the button or not.
Yes.
You know, and if you always have to think, is this really what I want to say? Is this how I want to be perceived? Is before, like, if we just did conscious thinking before we said things,
right,
the world would be a kinder place.
You are right. I'm going to remember that.
Oh, there's so many times where I'm like, I'm going to push this button.
Oh, my God. I push the button all day long.
Yes, WTF, push the button.
Yes, I'm pushing the button.
We have like 1 minute.
And then I drink the Kool-Aid.
Right.
So I push the button, drink it. And you're wonderful, wonderful, Max.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
And I want your follow me on Twitter at Max Tucci.
Yes.
And
yes.
I'm at your store sometime.
Yeah,
so
111 East Palmetto Park Road.
Yeah.
And
we'll do this again.
I would love to.
All right.
I would love to.
Thank
Thank
you,
sweetheart.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you for watching Serendipity Style. I hope you enjoyed our show tonight, and I look forward to sharing with you again. Please visit Serendipity East, now located at 111 East Palmetto Park Road, Boca, 1 block east of Federal Highway on the north side. See you next week.